guess my first mistake is actually the opposite of your mistake, if you can imagine this.
Unprepared.
Unprepared.
Oh,
So a cheap rooftop tent, and as soon as I bought it, everybody I knew said, "You should have asked us. That tent is too cheap. It's going to fall apart on you." And the reality was, I had to replace that tent in like 3 or 4 months. Like, parts were falling out. Now you can definitely use these tents once in a while and do okay with them. But if you're getting out, 50, 60 nights a year, and you
right.
get a cheap tent, it's going to fall apart on you. Heavy duty wind, and usually it's wind. Like in Anzabury, we had all this wind. And so I got a too cheap of a tent, and they got another pretty cheap tent. And then eventually I sprung for the more expensive one, instead of starting off. So I kind of, in one way, I wasted my money. In the other way, it gave me two tents that I then gave to my friends, sold for a couple $100 or whatever, and got them into it. So I guess it served its purpose.
Sure. And I mean,
What's another mistake you made?
uh, man, I don't know. Also going unprepared, I guess, is the opposite. But mainly I was referring just to the vehicle itself.
Okay.
I bought the vehicle is an expensive purchase, and then you
Yeah.
dump just so much money into it to build
Yeah.
it to what it is now. And do I use half of the capability of my Jeep? No, not at all.
You've never really driven that thing stock, right?
It never even made it home on the stock wheels.
Yeah.
So it had 35s before it even got home from the dealer.
Yeah.
And then it went from stock to that in 6 days.
Yeah.
So
wow.
there was no. I have no idea what it drove
You
like
had it
stock.
designed. Yeah. 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 I took a long time, and and built stuff and just kind of added this and that. And for me, it's the exact opposite. I have this fear of commitment. And so, like, what if I choose the wrong bumper? What if I choose the wrong set of wheels? And so I'll end up. I have this. It's not even paralysis by analysis where you're sitting around. For me, it's really just kind of like procrastination. I think I put it off, and then something breaks, and then I have to upgrade it. Usually, that's what I do.
Or falls off.
Or it falls off. A lot of stuff falls off. Oh man. So, um, what about like finding locations? What were mistakes you made early on in choosing the places you went?
I actually didn't have too much of a bad experience
Okay.
there. Mainly just because I got lucky and got some friends with Jeeps pretty quickly that, were already so far ahead of me.
Yeah. So
And
they
they
kind of
started
knew where to
kind of
go.
introducing me to places and teaching me how to find it.
Yeah.
Watching YouTube videos, but that only goes so far.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to say, I don't think I made any mistakes locationally either. I knew a little bit about like what public land is, what national forests are,
Mm-hmm.
national parks are. And so I knew the camping regulations surrounding them. And so with that, I was kind of able to do that. What are you checking out on your watch?
It says you are left behind. This device is no longer connected. The picture's still there.
Huh. Interesting.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. We got any questions and all that? There's a lot of people
There
on there.
there are, yeah. So some of the stuff that people said here was, let's see, that's everybody joining, and we're just kind of running through a couple questions just to get these answers here. Oh, that's going to take made the mistake of going. This is what Gabriel says. He made the mistake of just
Yeah.
going. Now he
It's
can't stop.
It's addicting. That can definitely be considered
That's
a problem.
totally true. Totally true. Flight Across says you got to buy the high quality components, stick it in the garage, and then go to work for a while. That's exactly what he did, man.
Yeah, I had a pile. The parts were all there before the Jeep even was built.
That's crazy that you knew that much about it. And you never had a Jeep before this, or did
Never.
you? Never.
Very first one.
Wow,
It was
yeah.
just a lot of research and knowing what kind of. I've built lots of cars over
Yeah,
the years, so
yeah.
I kind of had a vision of what I wanted it to be.
Greg is a good mechanic. Has helped me do a ton of stuff on my Jeep.
Yeah.
For sure. on the trail, on the freeway, and in my garage.
Yeah. Everywhere.
It's funny. So this was my second Jeep, and I actually a lot of the things that I had on my first Jeep that I liked, I would move over,
Mhm.
but also a lot of mistakes that I made on that one I didn't hear. Things like the type of rock rails. The rock rails that I have on this are ridiculously heavy duty, and you can just like sit on them, and I've scraped them and literally pivoted the vehicle around a rock on them. the ones I had on my first Jeep were not this heavy duty, and they were just destroyed and looked like crap very quickly. They looked really good when you first put them on, and then they were destroyed.
The sliders that I chose had a very good reputation for being very strong.
Yeah,
they're equally super heavy, but I've yet to touch them on a rock.
Really?
Never.
I don't know if Fly to Crawl is still on, but he was with me the first time I really pivoted the Jeep around, and part of it that was our lack of knowledge of how to get through an obstacle, and we just had the idea of if I just gun it, the Jeep's gonna twist like that, and it did, and we got out of it. But afterwards I was like, I don't think that was the right way, so I went back and did that obstacle again and was able to just drive through it, literally just drive through it. And so it's all about choosing the right line, which we learned a little bit about that last couple of days. We've had some spots like that.
Yep.
So trying to think, what would be another mistake you have made? I have another one actually. The same thing with the tent I've done with refrigerators. So I bought a cheap refrigerator, and then I bought another cheap but not quite as cheap refrigerator, and then I bought a refrigerator now that I have. They're still not that great. Everyone cost me just a little bit more money. And usually one or two gets offloaded to a friend, or another one's sitting in the garage. If anybody needs a fridge right now, by the way, I have a cheap fridge in my garage for you. But for me, a lot of times I'll just buy, and it's not actually because I'm cheap. It's actually because I need it quickly. So I'll say, oh man, I'm going out for 5 or 6 days, and I need a bigger fridge. And that's the one I can get delivered in 3 days. And that's just, better planning would be a better way to go.
Yeah, I planned everything out. So I'm a big believer in just researching and buying the good stuff the first time.
Yep.
So most everything I have.
You definitely get quality stuff.
Yeah, it's been, and it's expensive. I have lots of people tell me that I have lots of nice things, but they're all too expensive. And that's true. But I haven't had a single issue, knock on something,
knock on the wood.
It's always him stopped on the road, not me.
My Jeep is also 10 years older.
That's true. Well, that's another reason I bought a JL, is because I wanted one with 0 miles. So like all the speeding up was for me. And
it was built by not a mechanic. That's half the stuff that goes wrong on my Jeep is actually stuff that I did. I know why it breaks. You know what I mean? And I think you do too. You probably yeah. And we were hanging out with Nick from Overland Pros last couple of days, and he's really good with electricity. He's electrician stuff. Like, he knows it all. And it's just embarrassing to let somebody who knows look at my Jeep and see kind of the stuff that they're doing. And they're just like, oh my God, why did you put it together like this? Which, by the way, if you're doing your own electrical work, one mistake that I did not make was to underestimate fire. I saw what happened to Coyote Works, great dude, but his rig caught on fire in the middle of nowhere. I've had some other people that I kind of know of or know that had rigs catch on fire, and so being super careful about fusing it properly, using the right size wires, and then also I have I showed you that fire extinguisher that I have. It's not there's this fire extinguisher that I have sticks on the inside of the hood, and with that it actually, if the temperature gets too high, it extinguishes the fire. Pretty cool thing. I should give you one. I actually have one.
It's pointing right at all your electronics.
It's pointing at the electronics. I put it there with a purpose. Oh man, so what else? What would be like another tip for someone starting out to
not necessarily something that I did, that we did wrong, but off-grid communication.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the topic. The Starlink is definitely...
Dude, the Starlink is crazy.
Up and beyond.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it there in the background.
There's no signal where we are now.
Yeah, there it is. You can see it. If you're on YouTube. Oh no, yeah, but you can see it. This thing's crazy.
Yeah, but wow. That's way advanced. I can't even justify the cost for me to have, but just simple Garmin InReach or get a Zoleo.
Yeah, I love Zoleo. Check it out. It's super helpful. The people like the Garmin because it has a little screen on it, but I'm never without my phone, and so the Zoleo is something that allows me to use my phone much more seamlessly. That's
sure. Why I got the Garmin InReach with the screen, the Explorer, the big one, is to let mainly my parents when they go to like the Sierras by themselves, because they're getting older and
they borrow it.
I give it to them to
Oh,
borrow.
nice.
So
Yeah.
you can't,
Makes
they don't
sense.
have the app on their phone, but they can do, because it has a screen, you can navigate and set the presets.
Yep.
So they can text, made it to camp, I'm okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, I have other friends that know that I go camping and know that I have one, and they ask if they can borrow it for a weekend. And as long as I'm not out here,
yep,
I let them borrow it with the same reason, just to keep people safe. But it's an important thing. If you trip and fall, my stepdad actually did. He tripped and fell and hurt his eye actually.
Oh my God.
Couldn't see. And we had to go up to the Sierras and rescue him. But,
yeah, but the Garmin was how he communicated.
Well, thankfully he had somebody with him because he did not have it at the time. But I mean, had he was hiking through the forest by himself looking for fishing, and if he had just been out there by himself, he would have just been there not being able to move. So what do you do?
So, and an important thing, Gabriel just mentioned this, which is test your equipment before you go out.
Oh, yourself with it.
Yeah, like this Starlink, I set it up at home, played around with it a little bit before coming out here. The Garmin, something to play around with this stuff at home. And that goes for your cameras too. Like if you're, going to fly a drone or something, don't learn how to do it on the fly because you're pressured from time. And usually you don't have the connectivity of the internet to be able to figure out what your problem is.
The stress level's higher too.
And yeah.
But absolutely. I mean, it's the simple things. I'm sure, some of you saw that my spare tire on the trailer wouldn't come off because the wheel stud was just spinning.
Yep.
I discovered it at home, not out here, thankfully. And who would have thought? Let me check to make sure my spare tire comes off.
I know. What a random thing. That would have been so hard to do out here.
It's impossible. I had to weld on a nut.
Wow.
It's the only way to get it off. I couldn't grip it.
Another somebody just pointed out that the Garmin links to your phone too. It does. Yes. It absolutely does. Yeah. I find the Zoleo works more seamlessly for me.
Well, you just had a problem with your Garmin.
I had that's true. So I started with a Garmin, and just while we're on the topic, I started with a Garmin, and it bricked, and so I actually called them up, and they said, "Oh yeah, that's a known thing. You didn't update your software." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I didn't update the software." And they said, "Yeah, we knew about that." And I said, "Okay, well, can you replace the device?" And they said, "Well, it's been more than a year, so you have to buy a new one." And I was like, "What?" This was a software problem you guys knew about because I didn't take the update in time. So for that reason, I bought a Zoleo. And let me tell you what I did with my Zoleo. I cooked it. I cooked it on the dash in Death Valley, and it stopped working. And I reached out to them and I said, "Hey guys, I'm super sorry, but I totally cooked your device." And they said, "Okay, yeah, no problem. We'll send you a replacement." I had a replacement 2 days later. And in true fashion, I did it again.
Yeah.
And so, so with that, they replaced it a second time. And I really super, super appreciated the fact they did that. And I'm going to try to be much more careful with the Zoleo. The idea is I think you're not supposed to charge it when it's temperatures above 120 or 130. And, that's what I was doing. Cause I was leaving it plugged in on the dash, getting electricity constantly.
Which makes it warm in itself.
Which makes it warm, but then it's sitting in the dash and it's 120 degrees outside and we're probably not in the Jeep. So,
Now I have had my Garmin inReach for 2 years, never had any issues.
Perfect.
I did just get an email a couple weeks ago saying that there's a software update. So
make sure you get it.
Well, I read it and just kind of ignored it.
Make sure you get it.
Now I think I will do that when I get home.
Nice. Oh man. The Gabriel's saying he's had really good customer service with the Zoleo folks as well. And I have to say, definitely, I've appreciated that from those guys. And then, I guess the other, last thing of a mistake that you could make, because we've been kind of joking about this, but it's true, is not telling people where you're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not that has happened anytime recently.
Hasn't happened to me. You haven't had to come look for me. But the just letting somebody know where you're going,
especially when plans change,
because plans do change.
We're not supposed to be here today.
Yeah, actually, we're not. We were supposed to be up in the mountains right now at 11,000 feet in the cold rain, and we decided to come down here because we've been in rain for several days now in a row, and we just wanted to dry everything out. And this was also a spot that we were wanting to check out. So, but yeah, when plans changed, I texted, I inReached, and I used Instagram to try and let the guys know hey, plans have changed. And they got back to me and said, okay, we heard you. Plans have changed. No problem. We'll see you guys next time. But yeah, make sure that you let people know, because you don't want people wondering what's going on, or calling the authorities, or whatever that is. let people know. Man, Raygun says, have a portable welder. Man, I aspire to have a portable welder, and that I don't know that I would really use it, but
well, be mainly I aspire to it. Trailing arm bracket broke off the axle or something. Yeah, it would be something that left you stranded. But I think the amount, I mean, if we did like a lot of serious rock crawling, sure. But for the amount of aggressive trails that we're going on, the chances of breaking something like that are small. And then carrying it around to use, I mean, the back of our vehicles are packed.
Yeah, we get pretty full.
Yeah, welders are not small.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what's the biggest like repair that we've had to do on my vehicle on the road? It was probably when the steering
fell off.
It just fell off. It just literally just fell to pieces. Oh man, that was a fun one.
That was a pretty easy repair though. We just put it back.
Thank God we found the pieces. Yeah, if we hadn't found the pieces, then it would have been a much more difficult experience.
Luckily, we were almost to the top of that switchback.
And we were
trail, so
yeah, we were pretty high.
Probably somehow zip tied you and got you to the top, but there's no way you're driving down from that with that. Yeah, we would have had to tow it or leave it and go find it.
Yeah, and I would say that could kind of, not, maybe you don't need a welder, but the other thing would be to have the right tools with you. So, absolutely have a tool set that can, just basic tools to fix little things.
Yeah, and I've met a lot of people that I'm unfortunately don't do this, but when they work on their Jeep, they specifically only work out of their vehicle tool kit.
Oh, interesting.
That way they have everything that they have or that they need.
Yeah.
Right? Because you might not even think of it, and then you go to grab it.
Yeah.
You have it at home.
Yeah.
But not in the Jeep where you need it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I always kind of figure the tools at home make it easier, and the tools on the trail are what's necessary, And so my kit is not nearly as big as other people's, which, by the way, we should at some point go through, not in this format, but in like a YouTube video format, go through what you're carrying in your toolbox.
Yeah, I think you're going to be quite disappointed.
Oh, really?
Well, my thought is if something big breaks, chances of me fixing it out there are very small anyways.
Got it.
So it's going to be, most of what I carry is a variety of things.
Yep.
To where I could get by.
Yep.
I have some really thick, super big zip size.
Yeah. 100 pounds, 120 pound testers.
They are big ones.
Yeah.
But, if I break a U-joint, I don't have a U-joint. I'm not going to be able to fix that out there anyway. So,
I carry a U-joint.
Well, yeah, which one?
Just the one that looks like a cross.
No, I know, but you have some on the front axle by the tires.
Front axles.
You have the drive shaft ones.
Not drive shaft.
Yeah, see, so
if
the drive shaft breaks, then that doesn't help you. So
that's true.
And you never really know exactly what's going to break. So unless you're towing another Jeep behind you, you can use spare parts. Your parts Jeep. You could break anything. You don't even know.
So Obi-Wan asked this question, and this is worth a video in itself, which is, how do you store stuff in your Jeep? I probably do this more than anyway. There's something called the Jeep attic, and basically it's the width of the Jeep, and it's a net, and you can attach it to your bars. I have 4 of them in the Jeep. So it starts at the passenger's head. And so I put all like soft things in there for the boys, clothes and things like that. There's one behind it that's kind of spanning the seat to the rear of the vehicle, and that gets heavier but soft things like packed hammocks or insulation or whatever. There's one behind it that then gets more stuff, and so I have literally just have 4 of them in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have all sorts of side pockets and stuff. The biggest thing is you can have all this storage. You need to know where your stuff is. And so, because you don't want to be sitting there and you're like, man, I know I have, a crescent wrench in the Jeep. I just can't figure out where. And then you're asking your buddies for it, So, but Obi-Wan, you know what I'll do is I'll make a video about a little storage stuff soon here on the Jeep, because that's a fun one.
And he's pretty good. It's amazing seeing
the stuff.
It's like a clown car. So this guy sometimes it looks like he's been set up for like a month in this place. And it's just, I don't know where he has it all.
Yeah, it's funny. Raygun says he's got a smaller welder. Back to the welding topic. Yeah, what you need is you just need one of your friends to have a welder, and then if you're gonna do like Rubicon or something crazy like that. Yeah. So, anyways, I think we're kind of at time. We were going to do this for like 20 minutes. It's been 25 minutes. Any last interesting questions or things to talk about? If so, like drop them in there right now. Otherwise, it's been fun hanging out.
Yeah, we'll give it a little bit of time. Last time we ended too quickly, and we got a whole bunch of questions.
Questions at the end.
So
all right.
We'll hang out for another little bit while everybody gets time to type it.
Yeah, put any questions in. Solid Squid Jeep. By the way, so sad you had to go home early. We absolutely missed you, but that reel that you posted today was awesome. He was Solid Squid was with us for the first 4 days of the trip or something, and
then I tagged in.
Then you came in. Yeah, you came in when he left. But anyways, he put a reel on there of like some of the stuff we've done the last couple of days, and it's pretty cool. And anyways, so he was saying places are under the seat and around the roll cage, which absolutely I've got so much stuff around there. Willie says he takes a picture of the stuff that he's putting in deep. That's a great idea.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, I have like multiple, and I could just take a picture and then then know where it is. That's a great idea. I like it. All right, so Overland Journeys AZ asks how the bumbu was.
Yeah. We'll kill the rest of it tonight.
Yeah, we'll get after that soon. Fly to Crawl says, how long are we out for? And the answer is coming home tomorrow. So if you want to meet up with us tonight, man, let me know. But because I know you just got back into town. And Thor the Raptor says, hey, from the UK, what's going on? Love it. And what time is it over there right now? It's got to be pretty late.
Gotta be.
Yeah, awesome. One day we'll get over there and cruise around Europe. There's got to be some overlanding in Europe.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would love to do. Have you seen the people that do the thing where they drive to South America and then they ship their boat to Africa and then they drive up to Europe? It's like this massive trip, and then they drive over to Australia through Asia or something.
Yeah,
it takes 2 years. So
yeah, that would be life goals, I guess, but retirement first.
Yeah. It is 1:26 in the UK. Got it, man. All right. Well, hey guys, listen, thanks so much for joining us. We're gonna jump off and we'll see you. We're gonna do this next time. Willie says, Cerro. Yeah, man, I want to go up there. Let's do it. All right. See you guys. All right. Boom. Oh.